welcome to Curious Carmen ASMR. Today I'm going to read an excerpt by Giacomo Leopardi. It's called The Broom or the Desert Flower. Here on the barren spine of the stupendous mountain, that destructor Vesuvius, which takes joy from no other tree or flower, you scatter tufts of loneliness around, sweet-smelling broom, patient in the wastelands, as indeed I saw you, where your stems added beauty to the solitude of the dead tracks that brood round Rome, that she was queen of cities once, set in an empire gone. Your stalks, with their grave, silent presence, seem to witness to the traveler out of oblivion. Now I see you again upon this ground, lover of sad, unpeopled places, unfailing comforter of fortunes overthrown. These fields that are strewn with unbreeding ashes, sealed down with lava, turned hard as stone, with the stench of his boasting, his earthly promises, of new high destinies and pleasures known neither on this globe nor in the whole of heaven, and this to people whom a wave of the disturbed sea, a puff of malignant wind, a shift of the crust, destroys so thoroughly the later ages wonder where they lie. It is a noble nature that ventures to look up through mortal eyes upon our common fate and tell with a frank tongue that hides no grain of truth how frailties, evils, low estate are ours by reason of being born. One reveals his strength and greatness in suffering, refusing to add to the angers and hates of his brothers. Worst harm of all within are human miseries, but rather transferring the blame of grief from man and placing it in the true seat of guilt, the mother of men, with the stepmother heart. She is the one he calls enemy, and since he believes the brotherhood of men to be as indeed they are, united and set against this enemy yet, he takes all men to be confederates among themselves, embraces them all with a true love, extends and expects a ready, meaningful help as agonies and hazards strike and pass in the common war of man. And to be armed defensively against one's kind, to strew a neighbor's path with spike and block he sees as utter madness, like a hard man pressed upon the battlefield who at the crucial assault forgets his enemies and begins a sharp contest with his own friends, spreading the panic of a whistling blade that cuts its own troops down. When thoughts like these are known to ordinary folk as once they were, and when that terror which first drew mortal men so close in social links against unpitying nature has been worn back in part by true recognition, then will justice, mercy, fair and honorable dealing in the dialogue of cities find another root than the presumptuous, idle fables which have had to prop up the common probity of men, if one can call air a prop of what is bound to fall. I often sit at night upon these desolate slopes, draped in the dark and solid fall of lava. They seem rippling still, and above the joyless waste, in purest blue, I watch the far-off flashing of the stars, whose fires are mirrored in the sea, and the whole world is shimmering with sparks that circle through the empty spaces. And when I fix my eyes upon these lights, mere points to human sight, yet truly so immense, that all this land and sea, in fact, is but a point to them. To them, not only man, but this globe where man himself is nothing, is utterly unknown. And when I see still farther off in boundless distances what looks like knots of stars shining to us like mist, and think that to them, not only man, not only earth, but the whole system of our stars, infinite in number and mass, together with our own gold sun, is either unknown or must appear as they do to the earth, a point, a node of nebular light, How then do you appear as I sit thinking there, O seed of man, and recalling your poor and worldly state, which the mere soil I press on testifies, and then again brought out into the air by worldly greed or pity, and the traveler, paused in the empty form, looks through the stricken rows of colonnades and gazes with intentness up to the mass of the divided summit, with its smoking crater ridge still menacing the ruins scattered there, and in the secrecy and horror of the dark, through vacant theaters, through mutilated temples, and through stark shells of houses where bats hide their young, the glow of the deadly lava, like terror wandering with a sinister torch through empty palaces, runs on and reddens in the shadows of the distance and paints every place it meets. So nature, unaware of man and eras man calls ancient, unaware of links from ancestors to sons, stands always green, or rather sets at her feet on such a lengthy road she seems to stand. Meanwhile, kingdoms decay, peoples and tongues die out. She does not see it, and man presumes on his eternity. And you, yielding broom, decking these ravaged fields with your sweet-smelling grooves, you too will soon go down before the cruel fires of that great subterranean dominion. They will return to their station as before, their hungry hems will crawl over your soft thickets, and you will bend your innocent head with unreluctant nod under that deadly load. But not a head you bent till then in vain, with cowardly entreaty praying for your future killer's grace, not lifted up in frantic vanity towards the stars, or over this wasteland where your birth and growing place were not yours by your choice, but that of fate. But wiser and less weak, so much less weak than man, since you could rate your truly fragile race with no self-won, no destined, deathless state. Thank you. Have a good one.